So I'm reading all different publications. I'm reading things off the internet. I'm getting news feeds all day long, and I'll just pick and choose things that are interesting to me. Sometimes I won't do it. Things come to you when you're not really looking. If you're sitting there with a green eye shade, and trying to find ideas, that's not what I'm doing. I'm reading things that are interesting to me. I'm looking at developments in the world that are interesting to me, and occasionally I'll have a good idea from doing that, and I just enjoy the process of learning about and trying to understand what's going on in the world outside, and I think more experience helps. Meaning, having seen a lot and being able to say, "Hey, this thing reminds me of that thing, and this is how that thing played out. These are the ways it's different. These are the ways it's the same." And so, gaining experience, and I think, one of the reasons I wrote is because I got to read, Ben Graham and all the letters that Warren Buffett wrote and everything else. And, it's true. It's great to learn from your own mistakes. And you really don't learn unless you're really investing your own money and feeling how it feels to be wrong and lose a lot of money. So all those things are true. But the more you can learn from other people's mistakes and the things that, learn from the past and reading how smart people think, it's only helpful. I'd rather not make those mistakes myself. I'd rather read their mistakes and make different ones. You add those all up and you try to avoid over time.
Do you evaluate that kind of like how chess players play matches out in their head, and they sort of think through the mistakes and the positioning of the other person and what went wrong? Do you think about that from an investing point of view when it's other people's investments or just your own?
Wow. Well, it's definitely not like chess. I'm a terrible chess player, and I'm not good at looking forward a lot of moves. I think it's simpler than that. It's really, maybe it comes from one of your previous questions. It's sort of patience, looking, waiting to see something that's so simple and obvious to you anyway. And it doesn't mean you don't miss a lot of things that should have been simple and obvious at the time. And I'm sure you're familiar with when you just say, why didn't I think of that? Or that was so clear after the fact. And so it's fine to miss lots of those. It's just having the patience to wait till you do have that aha moment saying, I think this is the better way to look at it. And only pulling the trigger when you see that. It's almost, as Buffett would put it again, the errors of omission aren't so as important. It's the you can miss a lot, but if I should have swung at 7 out of 20 pitches, but if I swing at 1 and it was a good pitch to swing at, that works out well too. So you wait for where it's pretty simple and straightforward to you. So it's a lot of patience. Some of that comes from experience too. Being able to say, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years, and this ranks up there in the top 10 or 20% of things I've seen. And if you have that ability to contextualize with a new experience, that's always helpful. So the good part about that is I've always felt investing is continual learning. I never feel like I got it. I never stop making mistakes. I want to be right more than I'm wrong. And I'm not even not the most patient. I just feel like I have enough patience that the good things outweigh the bad things. So I think it's a combination of all those things. And knowing what you're good at is another one. And I'm good at simple things, where I see that simple idea makes total sense to me. You can test it in a million complicated ways to see if your simple concept still holds up. But at the end of the day, it has to be simple to me. And that doesn't come around all that much. You have to know that too. So don't get frustrated waiting.